Good morning, everyone. So knocking on the door, new all-time highs, not that far away, for sure. And we're starting off with a small gap up near Friday's high, which Friday was I say a coma trading day, sort of. It was just a lot of chop going nowhere. But it's a gapping up into, hey, Rocco, thank you, gapping up into this resistance area. So it's always difficult defining trading opportunities, if not impossible, based on how, well, for what we look at anyway, other than intraday, with a pattern like this. We did have this correction bar right here. That's what I was pointing to right there. And if they typically happen after an initial move, like for example, if it was just happening down here, where there was, I can't go, but I could go back that far, but you get the idea. You get the start of a move and it's got room to go up before it gets to resistance versus a relatively small move where the reward to risk is maybe 1-to-1 at best. But I mean, the way things are moving, the inflation data comes out Tuesday, Wednesday. I think it's Tuesday, Wednesday. Let's take a look here. Yep, Tuesday, Wednesday. You can look up that up and see what it is. But so those could be market movers, of course, up or down. And being so close to these all-time highs, you'd think there's going to be an attempt to push through it. So we need to see financials continue to show strength, and we need to see tech bring up the rear, which we'll take a look at. So as you can see, prices are gapping up right to Friday's high. And SPX, when the range is narrow like this, the strikes get tighter and the risk increases. So as we're looking at these strikes today, either one of these could get hit. Now you'd think the bottom one should be safer, just things are gapping up a little bit, right? And I suspect, just based on the way things have been going, that the majorities are going to be thinking to go up into this area. Now, open interests, it's already, the largest open interests now have moved up to, was 5,000, 5,200, and as you would think, 5,300. So it was already above 5,200. So that should become some support. And it's about evenly matched the open interest in SPX at 50, let's say 5,200, pretty close. And so the recipe is there to make new all-time highs. The next level is 5,300, which isn't that far away. So I suppose that's what that is within striking distance if momentum can start to pick up. So the upside here, you would think, right, just more risk if the trend is going up. But with this resistance right there, if things start to go up today, they just may follow through or into the early morning tomorrow. But that's the risk, the unknown. But, I would think the bottom side today should be the ones with lower risk since the trend is up and unlikely to break down. I don't know for what reason, since there's no significant economic news today. Well, there's this consumer inflation expectations, but I don't know that that's going to be a market mover. That's at 11 o'clock. There's a couple of auctions at 11:30. So you always got to keep some kind of news in mind that could, if you're in a position, there's nothing to do. If you're thinking about putting on a position, well, then you got something to think about, knowing that some kind of news is coming out. CQs have been underperforming. They're getting close up there. Find that I have to, of course, you have to move. DB Puck, I'm giving you the outside extremes prior to the market open and what moves, but SPX options move a lot. So if the markets were to start to advance right out of the open here. And, the speed at which prices move has a big effect. But if coming out of the open and, this jumps several points, you should easily be able to move this number up. But if it happens slow, no, you may actually lose the premium that's here. So, the different influences on option pricing are variables compared to just, hey, what is XYZ trading at this level right now? What's the bid and the ask? Where you have to take into consideration days to expiration, how fast prices are moving, so, as you start to look at all of this over time, I mean, I guess there's option models I could point to you the possible direction, but, you get a feel for this kind of stuff over time as to what the probabilities are. But I mean, you've seen these things. It could be, 5 or 10 minutes before expiration, and this thing pops one way or another, and those options fly. So, you can't be lax about watching what's going on here and picking your spots. All right, let me continue here. So the cues here, inside day, not much going on. NASDAQ futures there. You see gapping up to the top of the range there. Plenty of a mess over there to the left to deal with. Not a great situation here as far as reward to risk, and there's virtually no void. But the way this has moved up and this little consolidation right here, it does support the ability, maybe in an erratic way, to eat through that resistance, and then we'll see whatever the news is as it comes out. We've looked at this before. You can see the equal weighting is way below here. So what does that tell us? Well, the larger cap stocks are the ones that are leading again. And it also says that there's the potential for underperformers to play catch up. Doesn't mean they have to continue to underperform, but there are stocks that haven't been moving that can play catch up and continue to move ahead. So that's, we'll continue to look for those today. And we have been. Same thing with the S&P, far from the high there. So again, we'll look for those. And what was the transports underperforming, but this is the idea about playing catch up. You just look through the transportation stocks, see which ones have patterns that look like they can continue. So there's plenty of overhead resistance here. And pretty much no matter where we look, there isn't any fantastic setups, but, getting in, maybe a day or two, a few hours is the potential to make money. And this week, again, is going to have some substantial risk of news. We'll keep that in mind. Semiconductors. They gapped up Friday, and they certainly looked like they were going to head up there. There's just nothing was going on. There's plenty of resistance over there, but there are some that look better than others. One I mentioned in the letter, I mean, this has resistance, but it's a much cleaner type of a pattern that looks like it could go up. It's up here a bit, gapping up slightly. And NVIDIA, which, of course, institutions love, it's got this little lagging kind of pattern where that could go up, gapping up a little bit. Apple, not a bad looking chart after a gap up. It's gapping up here a bit. So, obviously a positive gap and consolidating, maybe a red bar ignored. So those are a few stocks that may outperform. Certainly this could bring up the rear. Usually it's leading and it's not. Financials have been leading. You see they're moving up here again. They're almost to the top of the range there. And so they may continue. Uh, One of the comments that I made in the weekend letter, where everything looks like it's going to go up and make a new all-time high, there is the possibility of this becoming an M top with this big news item coming out, if it's bearish news. So we'll see. We see patterns like that. We say, what is possible with this pattern? Now, what we want to look for is if this goes up, let's say the news is positive. If this can exceed that high by a reasonable amount, what's reasonable? Well, reasonable is something more. Say, looking at this 43, something reasonable is something that exceeds maybe twice this height here. That's not a great explanation, but what happens with most of these is they just peekaboo above the high and then roll back over again. So that's something to look for. If we get a wide range bar breaking out above here, that's going to look great. Buy the pullbacks, do all-time highs. It should continue to go up. Dow is up against this high here. I'm sure there's a pivot over there to the left. Anytime you get a bar like this, well, there's only one lower high there, but it's a wider bar, you're going to have a pivot on a lower time frame. So that is stalled there for the moment, but it's got room to move up. Russell's moving up here this morning. Had a little bit of a accelerated climactic run there on the 5-minute as it got closer to Friday's high. But we'll see if this can hold on to its gain or, of course, exceed it. And have a red bar ignored type of a pattern there, which support a move higher. And Nick, let's look at other financials here. KRE, looking at this, it's up here a little bit. It looks like it's going to break out. It's still early this morning, but you've got this erratic pattern. It breaks down, higher low, deep retracement, and it goes sideways at resistance. And notice, the same kind of gap down reversal here. And that supports an ability to go higher. So for this to happen, one of the intermarket relationships to look for, you see interest rates are down here a little bit. It's red anyway, but you want to see this continue to come down. So it could look between the news and interest rates, this, it's on the rising 50. If it comes down here to the 200, it could flip back up. But look, we just don't have a situation here that's a no-brainer. And, low brainer typically equals multiple concepts are all lined up together. And we don't have that right now. So it may increase the trading activity, meaning the assessments as to, hey, this looks good. Now it's not looking so good. Get out of the way or tighten stops. So, it's not going to, I just don't see what's going to happen in the next several days for someone that isn't experienced in what they're doing and able to make decisions in the moment like that. This interest rate chart on the weekly chart is still positive. So while in the short term, this coming down certainly helped the market, it's coming into an area of support where we recognize there should be buyers. Now, of course, there's these influences on interest rates, but we are chartists. And as chartists, we recognize this as an uptrend, and this is where buyers should be. And if this turns up, it's not going to be a positive. We'll see if that lines up. And say euro's moving up, so dollar must be inching lower, which is helping the markets here. There's my dollar chart. It's got to be moving down a little bit. Yeah, it's moving down a little bit. You can see all the other currencies are green. Oh, dollar weaker. That's helping the market. Bitcoin. For the last week or so, I've been talking about this potentially making a head and shoulders bottom. The weekly chart is still bullish. It's pulling back. The rising 20 is equal to the 100 on the daily. So give or take, the 100 is over here. But bottoming tail bar, little downside shakeout, making a higher low, beginning of the day. But, 2 bar reversal there. So that's looking encouraging, like it could go up. I mentioned Erythium last week, and similar type of a pattern there. It's gapping up this morning, so that by a pullback, stop below these lows here. That looks good. So not too many bars there, but anyway, check it out in the morning. We'll see where it is at the open, but bottoming tail bar, new low, deep retracement, higher low, gapping up, should be go. Yeah, the dollar. I was asking about the dollar being strong and gold strong. Things get out of sync. Into market analysis. I've been, looking at that over several decades. You want things to be consistent so that you can rely on them. That's kind of human nature. If things are erratic, it creates uncertainty. But intermarket relationships go into sync to where they are, locked tight. And other times there are influences that take them out of sync. Now, this is a time where, in inflation, you had to go back 40 years ago before we had this kind of inflation. And when did we ever have, you know, a management trying to destroy the country? So, I mean, I'm not saying that those are the biggest things. They are big things, but it's unusual times. And so that isn't to say the reason why these intermarket relationships get out of sync, but there are things that happen that are beyond just looking at the chart and saying, hey, this is going up and that's supposed to go up or vice versa. And you recognize that, and it is what it is. And gold, bottoming out here. It's down a little bit, but that looks like it's ready to go back up again. And silver, looking good, acting well at resistance. Yeah, and yeah, I think that's about it. There's other, as you look around, and I covered this in the weekend letter, you look around and nothing looks fantastic, but there is the potential for prices to move up a bit here, and certainly looks like that's what's in the cards for the moment. All yours, Dan.
Good morning. It just looks good. Not many earnings. Some things moving all over the place. As we say many times, even though there's no trade in the broader market index ETF, we find many trades. So last week on Friday, I thought it was going to be very difficult finding good trades, and it was harder than usual. But we have a big list of good looking stuff. Here's one right here in GIS. Friday's high, greater than 100%. This is right out of retracement seminar again, greater than 100. So what do we teach based on that? We teach, look for, if you get a pattern for a counter trend move, but then I'm looking for a bullish pattern that retraces less than 40%. There's exhibit A right freaking in there. Here's my pattern. Little, multi-bar turn here at the 20. I'll take these out for HE. BNB USD. I don't trade that. All right. What else? So on the FANG department, Apple, yeah, gapping over Friday's high. Yeah, that's 30-minute high, or let's watch a controlled pullback and setup. Microsoft also 418. I'm just not crazy. I like Apple better in terms of reward to risk, but put spread if there's anything below here. I'm sure I already looked over the weekend. Google is the standout of the FANG weakness here today for some reason. Obviously has to be news. That's This just makes no sense unless there's news. Um, Earnings here, not many. Barica, uptrend daily, weekly, monthly, but no great pattern. Urgent, a mess. Yeah, these are all no-name stuffs. 20, that's a big gap down. 20, that's getting whacked pretty good. Yeah, I'll leave it. Folk, actually, the gap's too big now. But this is a beautiful bottoming pattern. You had a higher low here, you had a big move here. Retracement again. Look, here's my 50% retracement from here to here. And now it's taken out some prior highs with a void. So the only negative is the gap's too big, but I'm going to keep it on the list. This is, this is so stupid. I remember mentioning GME down here. I'm like, whoa, bottoming pattern, range expansion bar on volume. What's up? I have no idea what the news is, but now the news is saying today that Reddit boy, whatever his name is starting to text in here. And for the market cap to go up from here to here, roaring kitty, what frigging joke. I mean, it's just, it blows my mind, Jeff, of just the stupid mentality of people who get sucked into things. I guarantee you they're out there saying, oh, kitty's back, buy GME. And you got idiots saying, oh, okay, yeah, good idea. And then you sit them down in an economics class or finance class and you say, look, do the math. What percent gap is that? Figure out what their market cap is and, XYZ. Is Kitty making a tweet worth, I'm making up a number, $7 billion? Amazing. Amazing. Yeah, see, that makes more sense to me, Greg, that he was buying down here and now he sends a tweet out and he's selling into the strength.
I don't
That
know if
makes
you saw the movie, Dan, but he was buying all the way up. I don't know. He eventually got out. I don't remember what the number was, but I think he made like 30 million.
Yeah, I remember some of those. I don't have Twitter, but I just remember reading them. These friggin' idiots socking in innocent COVID sit-at-home traders saying, you're a wussy if you sell before it reaches $1,000. And he's like, I don't care if I go bankrupt, I'm just holding till 1,000. It's like you are so full of it. Let me get a look at a copy of your trading activity and we'll see if you hold to 1,000 or not. All right, Penn here. I forget the news. I forget if it's earnings or a downgrade or whatever the case, but there's a little sell setup. Said G got a downgrade. Now, I question the timing of the downgrade, but it does look low or daily, weekly, monthly. The support thing looks horrible. EQR, I forget. I think an upgrade, I forget. So said, gee, I want to fall. AMAC had a downgrade. So you know what we should do? Set an alarm at 210 and see if it can recover from this downgrade. And then the daily is still bullish. I think I heard the news say NVIDIA is next week. But that's a very bullish pattern, and it's gapping up about halfway into Friday's range. Earnings 522. So yeah, the following week. This is bullish. They're still loving the video. Micron has a ton of resistance here, so I wasn't sure about a swing, but I put this in the letter as a put spread, so it's gapping over the entry. And I had high band in there, courtesy of Sam I am. 1, 2, 3, 4. Regional banks look good. Talking about regional banks, see this gap up right here? We actually gave that to our ETF people. on a pullback to minor support, which we came close to hitting. I think I said 49 to 49.10. And it looks like we might have been 15 cents away from that pullback, but it's still on my list. BPOP is in the weekend letter. If it is gapping way the heck up here, then obviously we're not going to do it. But look, our retracement, you all, seminar from here to here, greater than 100%. What did we tell you? To think. Think for a bullish subsequent pattern that doesn't retrace more than 40%. There's exhibit A again. You got a buy setup and 180 reversal. And now made new highs. This gap down was negated. So the measurement from here to here is strength. So that's less than 30% pullback. And it's a, daily, weekly, monthly uptrend. So that's bullish as can be pattern. Chinese getting involved, or I read the all right, so explain this to me, Raul. Hold on, explain this to me real quick. China, Biden's going after China, more tariffs, 100% on electric cars, etc. So why is this gapping up? And then he's going after medical devices and some other things. And I thought I remember Biden trashing Trump when Trump had tariffs. But let's not start on that right now. Access, Raul asking. Definitely. Yeah, this is a little bit similar to what I showed you before. Now this one's almost 100, but I don't care. I'm looking for a bullish pullback. So yes, Raul, thank you. You just found us a good trade. So I'm gonna set an alarm, just for starters, 1575. All right, let's continue. What do I got here? A-Rock, it's a breakout watch. My alarm went off pre-market, but it looks like a bad tick. So let me reset my alarm. Greg mentioned IHF has room sector. So many sectors are sloppy, but that's a closing breakout. Little bear sandwich looks good. Curve, as we know, had the earnings breakout. XBY, I have an alarm up here around 90. This is a deep retracement into resistance with a bull flag. So that's, trying to make a turn. All right, shoot, I got a ton of alarms going off here. Pfizer alarm. Let's watch 30-minute high. J&J put spread idea. Alarm just went off. But Pfizer looks good. As 100%. See, here's another example. 100% retracement, but it's not giving us that beautiful 40% buy setup. Instead, it's given us bullish price action through time with red bars ignored. Oh, WY alarm, potential bottoming pattern. We'll come back to it. FMC. Yeah, I would like it to go sideways a little more, but let's put it on the list. Let me check these other. Ryan LNC. Ryan McGraw gave me Ryan. Tick 1300, AD line 1700. That's an amazing strength on the gap up. All right, LNC 30-minute high watch. VFC. VFC, possible bottoming pattern, PWR. PWR looks good. That's a little kind of a bull rectangle. This is a great 30-minute high idea. All right, that Pfizer took off. AZO, my up alarm went off, but kind of a sloppy inverse head and shoulder, but it's a spready, low liquid, expensive stock, so I'm not going to mess with it. All right, MDT, alarm. This triggered. MDT, what do we have? Okay, yeah, long stock, 8307. I'll catch up on alerts later. CDNS alarm. We did a put spread on this Friday, so let me just put a new up alarm. Yeah, I'm with this big gap up. The resistance on the Qs and spiders, no rush, and IWM, no rush to get in with them. All right, new up alarm 290, XBI alarm already. XBI, nothing to do yet. TPR. TPR alarm. This was this gap reversal, 1, 2, 3. I love these patterns. No rush though to get in because of the market coming in, but I think it's going to go through this prior high and grind itself probably up to here, 42.50 is my target. GIS alarm. BKU, I don't like it's a gap in for up 3 bars at a prior high. NXPI, 30-minute high maybe, just not in a rush, but it's bullish. WBA alarm. Shoot, we have long puts on this from last week. It's an early stop, but that's a something bar, so I don't like it. That was a perfect short pattern. I think we got from Aichi or somebody. Pop. Pop into the, let's wait for a pullback into the gap. the UPS alarm. This is a put spread idea and 30-minute high, possible directional. PLD alarm. Yeah, this is a new trade, 108.52. It's at that prior high, so it'd be better to wait for a 30-minute high, in my opinion. Oh, UPS, I gave May 17, 146 calls. Ah, shoot, it's too spready. So let's just do stock instead. General Motors up alarm. Wow, that's a lot of alarms going off today. And so GM, that means the back half is mad. We're already in it. But look at General Motors. That's bullish consolidation. Looks great. KRE breakout. Yeah. UPST. MU out? Why are you out of MU? WBA did stop out. Uh, FIBK alarm. I think that's another regional bank. XOP alarm. This is a call spread. Oh no, it's not. It's a buy 152.5 puts. Meta's tanking here for some reason on the look at and Microsoft. Look at that. Man, I just looked up at my fangs. That's a nasty 15-minute chart on both those. And Tesla's actually catching up the rear with strength. Way behind. But yeah, that's a bear flag. XOP was the best one of the four oil ETFs to short. And Delta, nice. All right, so that gave it up. Meta, Meta, call spread watch, 30-minute low. You know, we got these inflation numbers, but there's always something to worry about. Hey, ARM, I forgot to mention pre-market. I saw them talking on the news. They're saying they're getting involved in AI. They're going to make AI chips. You know, that's just 100% reminds me of the internet days. People saying that they bought, you know, got them like they got on the internet and their stock rocks. So all you got to do is say, just say you hired Sam. Why don't you try this? Say that you hired a janitor named AI, and let's see what happens to your stock, Sam. All right, here's your stock, Sam. So just tell me before you do that announcement, and I'll buy like 10 shares and see what happens. DXCM, yeah, yeah. The only thing I'd like better if it didn't have these, you know, this 4 bars here, but it looks lower. I am bottom fisher. ESTC is not triggered. Roku, short idea. Square, short idea. So Alex, I actually like Square better than that thing just because of this V bottom. But I wanted to get under this green bar right here. So Square I like a lot as a short if it triggers. VPOP is into the gap fill now. I mean, 97. I am way behind alerts. But a lot of them are triggering. ESI, I like over last week's time. Ramp. Yeah, this thing can go either way. Last week's low was short over Thursday's high, the start of a possible bottoming pattern. All right, high band as it go into this gap fill here. Oh, yeah. Wow, that's all time frames. Yeah, that has room. Yeah, well, you should have, why didn't you post that to the letter? I'll do it. Don't be shy. You can post. Yeah, so that's all the activity in the advisory letter. DHR, we're long stock. Let's tighten the stop here. I think to this ugly red bar right here, 252.08. Bravo Gold. Narhua, we're doing good. We're in profitable territory finally. Well, we were last week too, but you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, and look at CHTR or a put spread if you like that this week.
CHCR, who?
Charter Communication.
I already looked over that. I put it in the letter that they were both watches, this and Libiterex. But there was no this. It was either no premium or spreading. I posted it in the letter actually. That's a long watch. The charter and this LBRDX, is that it? Something Libiterex. What's the symbol, Alex? I told you. Oh, symbol. I'm not, oh, it's whatever. I'm busy. Thanks. It'll be DRX. All right, I was off. No, that ain't it either. It's whatever. You all can look it up if you're interested. It's in the letter. I'm way behind. Yes, alarm. Morning, we know about Sapua. This makes no sense. The wrong number in here. On the spreadsheet, I say we bought this at 478. It's friggin' impossible. It's not even 478 now. Let's see, what day was this? 4/8. we did it on this igniting day. So I think it was 418. All right, I messed that up. Earnings 521. There you go. That sounds right. Yeah, look at this one too, Alex. I mean, Greg, another same sector bottoming, but yeah, Charter looked better. That's fixed. The L alarm just went off. Is that the same? No, that's Lowe's. Never mind. Um, Nothing to do now, but this is another constructive, good little retracement. It did 100%, but it did it by doing 60, 40, 60 bullish at resistance. So yeah, that was a nice little MU new high, bottom right. But yeah, L looks good to watch. Let me check charter again, but yeah, I definitely looked over the weekend. Something under two, yeah, 40 by 170. Yep, I knew I looked. Netflix is a call spread under Friday's low. I think J&J was a put spread, but we're not going to get filled without a pullback on Boeing. Believe it or not, I put this in as a put spread over these highs. Uh, Adobe over Thursday, I like as a put spread. A team under last week's low, a call spread. Autodesk over Friday's high put spread, MU. I gave as a put spread, but we're not going to get filled. And ADI, I gave as a put spread over the closing price. And that gap, we're not going to get filled, unfortunately. So shoot, we've had nothing fill yet in the weekly options trader. Although I posted like 8 of them, I was shocked that we had so many in light of what the market's doing. All right, this DHR, we have a put spread also in addition to our directional. So let's tighten the stop. Midpoint is 15 cents. All right, so we met our target. Let's close CDNS, break even, not acting right. Yep, APS. Yep, I gave us a directional, and the put spreads are not going to get filled. Access alarm, PAXS. Ah, this is the one I got from the bro on YouTube. Ah, Pfizer's ripping too. Shoot, I had that in the window. Let's go with maybe 30-minute high. Access. Let me make check earnings. Access is PIMCO Access Fund. So it's not. I don't know what the heck sector that is. But let's watch it. I mean, I do not expect a new high with this ugly reversal on the weekly. But for a swing trade, like go look at FedEx. Yeah, I looked at that as a put spread too. All right, let me start getting up to date on all these things that hit. No. Oh, are you referring to this one, John? Way the heck over here? We don't call that a double bottom. There's too much stuff in between. So just call it a bullish reversal on major support. But yeah, I gave this one as a put spread, but no fill. All right, we had a ton of trades triggered today long. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 9 new trades within 30 minutes, all on the bullish side. Wow. Oh shoot, high ban. I said by the calls, so that's fine. Calls high ban 115. FRPT alarm. A little buy set up here after a gap. Fresh pit, not gonna rush into it. Jeez, this was long calls too.